Ivan Perisic since the World Cup. I think Alex is ready for this one. No, since the World Cup, I mean, he's been nothing short of dreadful, to be honest. I mean, the one thing which we could rely on him was his crossing ability. We're not seeing that at the moment. I think, how many crosses did he put in? He put in about 10 crosses yesterday. Only 2 of them hit a Spurs man. And what is he bringing to the team at the moment? Like, we're asking a 34-year-old to play a wing-back system, getting up and down the pitch, ask him to defend and ask him to attack. He's not doing anything to a particularly good level at the moment. So the question is Perisic past it at this level in the Premier League? We'll start with you, Alex.
I'm absolutely gutted about it, to be honest, about what's happened with Perisic, because I thought he was a really astute signing for the club, adding everything we've really asked for, changing club policy to go for a player with what you hope is a winning mentality, who's achieved things in the game, and in his still looked the part when he was playing for Inter Milan was absolutely brilliant last season for them. And he started okay. His crossing ability. He's always been a bit of a defensive liability, I think, whenever he's played for us. But I think that's something, because you're playing through it at the back, you can kind of tolerate as long as you can have that attacking threat. But now it's I can't sit here and say I know exactly what's gone wrong, because I think only the management and probably he himself will probably know exactly what's happened. It's bad. Maybe it's bad form. Maybe I don't know if he's completely past at this level, because you can put in a good cross. I feel like probably Ryan Giggs, if you're asking, could probably still put in a good cross to a striker or something like that. I don't know, a left back or something.
We're just not seeing it at the moment, Alex, though, are we?
But I think that's really concerning, because also our other options on the left just are not good enough. And the problems we're having at right back earlier on or right wing back earlier on in the season are now happening on the left hand side as well, when we don't have a player who can really carry out Conte's game plan with Perisic in such bad form at the moment. You're left with Davies and potentially setting on when he comes back.
Who's injured?
So whenever he appears. So yeah, currently it's Ben Davies' ball, which is absolutely brilliant for Conte's system.
It's mental, because we've got to a stage where Ben Davies, we're putting him back in that position where a year ago, 2 years ago, we were just like, this guy can't play that position anymore. We've brought in Ivan Perisic, someone specialised in that position. And now, since the return of the World Cup, we've seen better performances there from Ben Davies than we have from Ivan Perisic since after the World Cup. I mean, how crazy is this? But Josh, what are you thinking about Perisic?
Look, Perisic is one of these luxury players. He's not a player I would start with in the Premier League, especially away from home, and your away record's shit. You're off the back of a loss. You need that win. I would have gone Ben Davies. I would have started Eric Dyer, and I would have put Lenglet on the left. I don't care if Dyer's not there on Wednesday and they want to practice this back three. They can do that at Hotspur Way. They can spend all day on Mondays playing 3 at the back, and Eric Dyer can have an ice cream and watch. On match day, you play your best players. You play your best system, you get the points, and you get the business done. Listen, if Liverpool win today, we're screwed. If Man United win, it would have basically put Liverpool behind us. So I blame the coaches for starting Perisic. I mean, I was going to come on your pre-match show, but I was a bit busy. I was going to say, please start the same team. Put Davis there, put Longley there. And we've got enough in that top 3 and in the engine room to win 1-0 or 2-1 away. For me, you don't need to put Perisic on the left. You bring him on around 65 minutes if the game is stretched, a bit like how Sonny came on for Richie. The game's stretched. His pace, his fresh legs, and his final ball quality is more potent in the last third. When the game's opened up, we can read the tactics. Wolves might have used a few subs by then. So for me, the coaching staff shouldn't have started him, guys. I would have gone Eric Dyer in the middle, and I would have kept that winning formula from West Ham, Chelsea, and Man City. I would not have touched that back line. I would have left it as it was. Obviously, Emerson was injured. Otherwise he goes in as well, and Porro comes in off the bench for me on the same side. Back to Perisic. You can't pass well. You can't tackle well. He doesn't intercept much. He tires, but what he does give you is a final ball. And if you remember the header at the back post, that's what he gives you. That's what he gives you. The one that straight at the keeper. But that's what he gives you. He can give you that dead ball and find Kane or find a player and switch play quickly. But guys, you've got to do the lesser of two evils. You've got to look at Perisic and go, whilst I might sacrifice his output on the front end, I've got to then, you know, balance his weakness as well. And I feel like if you're winning 1-0, 2-0, bring on Perisic, great, we can contain because we've got something to protect. Until we go 1-0 up, for me, Perisic, nah, I'm not feeling it, guys. I'm not feeling it, man. I think, look, we're going to have to start him at AC because Eric Dyer's injured. So it's going to be Davis and Perisic. And I fear for that left-hand side because that will be the fourth game or the third game. That left-hand side will be playing together from Sheffield United to AC Milan. And AC Milan, all he has to do, right, the manager there, all he has to do is focus on that right. Double up on Davis, overlaps. Lau's going to do it on the left. And on the right, you just double up on him. And they're going to create opportunities. And if Conte and his staff haven't seen that black hole there and how big it is, then what are they being paid for, man? Because anyone could see on the left-hand side, Tottenham with Perisic in the Premier League, in the Champions League, are going to get ripped up. But we're just relying on this. Oh, yeah, we'll just get an assist and a goal out of Perisic. And when was the last time you had a man of the match? When was the last time you had an assist? When was the last time we sat there when he was in the top 2 or 3 players of a performance? I'm fed up of seeing him do it for himself. And I don't like the way he acts as well. Sometimes you'll do something and you kind of want a hand up to say sorry or like, you know what I mean? Like show a little bit of emotion. And he's just walking off like, I'm 33. I'm on 180 grand a week. You guys are lucky to see me play for Tottenham Hotspur. Nah, man, I'd rather have an academy guy than Perisic at the moment because he's just not doing it for me, man. Not doing it for me.
I agree. And, you can't ask him as well at 34 years of age to play 90 minutes at Sheffield United and then 90 minutes at Wolves in the space of 4 days. It's just crazy talk. It really is. But Sim, what are you feeling?
Yeah, and I think I agree with that. I think they got that wrong yesterday. They should have probably started Davis like they've done in the last 2 Premier League games, and he's put in solid performances. But I actually really, especially in the first half, I really liked how we had Perisic and Porro both there, and we were really stretching Wolves, and it really created a lot of space in the centre. So I did like the dual threat at the beginning anyway. But once they started to burn out, he's too easy to play against. He seems to be burning out quicker and quicker as the games are coming in at the moment. Now, Perisic, as you say, he is 34 now. Especially when you're playing in an intense physical league like the Premier League, it's different to playing in Serie A. It's different to playing even in the World Cup. It's a different kettle of fish. So I do think he has struggled in a lot of games to adapt to that. I do think he did start his time at Tottenham pretty well with getting a number of assists. But what I'm really worried about is first of all, his goal contributions are drying up for sure. That's definitely happening. His crossing is not hitting the target as much as it used to. But as well, his ability to take people on. When he first came, I remember when we played I remember away at West Ham, he was taking people on and beating defenders and getting really good crosses in. But it just seems at the moment, his ability to take people on is really diminishing. How many times yesterday he was one-on-one with Semedo? Must have been 10 or over 10 times he was one-on-one with Semedo, and he just couldn't get past him. He couldn't take him on. And when he did try a cross, either didn't hit the target or got blocked. And that is what's been happening recently with Perisic.
Yeah, with his slow-mo step-overs.
Yeah, I'm just...
you're just watching it and you're just like, is that real time or am I watching stuff in slow-mo at the moment? It's just like, come on, man. What is going on? But when you're looking at this game on Wednesday night against Milan, what do you do, guys? Who would you like to see as the wing-back starting in Milan? Go Josh first.
Well, if we lose that game, we've come out of 2 competitions, and if Liverpool win, then you might have even given up top 4. So it could be the worst week of our season. This could be the week where we look back and we go, man, if we had just got our selection right. So Wednesday, I don't start him. No, I don't start him at all. I'm happy to stink out Wednesday, big time. I'm happy to go with Emerson Royale on the left, or put him in his favour to deal with Leao, or however you say his name. And then on the left, stick Porro. The other thing is you stick Davis there, and you get Sanchez in that back 3. And then that's asking for problems because Sanchez.
Don't want Bambi on ice, man. Come on.
Big Dave, or whatever they call him there, Big Dav. So I don't know, man. It's a good question. I think if they start Perisic and we lose, then obviously what we're talking about now is Japanese to the management team, because they're seeing a different Perisic, they're seeing a different tactical strategy. So I think Emerson Royale on the right, Porro on the left, bless him for his fourth game to play out of position, you know. But nah, I don't put Perisic. I'll put him in. If I do put him in, I put him in for 50 minutes, and I tell him, you only getting 50 minutes. Run your socks off, play a more conservative game. Don't get lost at the top, right? And work, in field. He needs to come in field as well. It's so obvious sometimes what he's going to do, and that's why everyone knows you just push him out wide, couple of step overs. Either his cross won't make it, or just go back to Davis. So learn to cut in, learn to sort of switch play, learn a different way to use your skills. He's got a great dead ball. So, maybe they need to work with him back at Hotspur Way this week to say, don't be so obvious and go down the left and try and cross. Or if you are going to try and cross down the left, just do it. Like, don't think, don't double think. Just get that ball in the box like at the beginning of the season. Just one touch, bang, it's in. And then if someone gets it, someone gets it. So I don't know, mate. That's a good question. I think worst case, starting 50 minutes, tell him he's coming off, or put Porro on the left, mate. After that, we're screwed, mate. I mean, I might as well start. You know what I mean? That's how bad it is at the moment.
Yeah, if you're going Wednesday night, make sure you wear your kit underneath your clothes because you might get called upon. But I think Porro should start on the left and Emerson should start on the right, like you said, to combat Rafael Leao. But what are you feeling, Alex?
Yeah, I was probably going to say just whichever side Leao kind of is on, put Emerson on that side, whether you swap that around. I mean, probably if it was up to me, I'd preferably maybe play Porro in his usual position rather than on the left, because that's probably is what he's used to. And Emerson's actually had experience playing in our squad out position, so I'd probably maybe favour Emerson on the left if that was possible. But yeah,
you don't want to see Porro up against Leao, though, do you?
No, not really. Yeah, if possible to avoid that. But yeah, look, it's a really tough one because that Sessegnon injury has come at a time when Perisic just isn't performing as we've discussed, and it's really bad because then of course our only other option is Davis. And I'm just sitting here listening, and I'm thinking, Davis and Dyer and Sanchez, and how are these players still here? How are we still in this, or at least being maybe apart from Sanchez, first choice players in the team?
This could be a stream from 2018, Alex.
Literally, you might as well just get up the streams from then. But the problem is also then when we have these injuries on the wing backs, it can also then harm the centre back positions, because then if you play Davis, for example, then you're playing Longley, perhaps, and then you got Sanchez and it creates all these issues that pile on top of each other, like a butterfly effect. One issue, it starts a domino that affects.
It's just
the
whack-a-mole from the issue. You just get the starting 11, just whack-a-mole, basically, just popping up, each issue popping up.
Whack-a-turd, that's what it is.
But yeah, and the issues are stacking up and piling on top of each other, and I just don't want to see Ben Davis and Sanchez and. I know. Does I think probably is he not going to play, or is he definitely not playing? I can't remember.
Dyer suspended.
Dyer suspended.
Suspended. Sorry, yeah, Dyer's suspended, isn't he? I can't face seeing these players play week in, week out again for the rest of the season. It's just killing me, honestly. I don't know what to feel. Just discussing these players. Oh man, I know we were talking about Perisic, but God.
I think Alex is still hurting from that game yesterday, like everyone else in it.
I'm hurting from
the last
yesterday.
Raging.
I'm hurting from Middlesbrough from last year. I'm hurting still.
Mate.
Potch's at Colchester United. I'm still hurting from that from years ago.
We still haven't put it right, Alex. That's why we haven't put it right yet.
Literally. I honestly just want to burst out into a rant. How have we not reached an FA Cup semi-final in the last 4 or 5 years? It is ridiculous.
We haven't reached
is
an FA Cup quarter-final in the last 5 years.
Sorry, quarterfinal. Like, what the hell is going on with these players? It is an absolute. They have a mental block in these cup competitions, I think, and part of it I think stems from Pochettino and what was happening with him. And we heard it from him in the press conferences. Some of these players were here that it's the. They tend not to focus really on these domestic cup competitions.
Because these managers don't get judged on these domestic cup competitions. They get judged on if they finish fourth, and that's it. That's the problem.
Yeah, and it annoyed me in the financial statements that came out a few weeks ago, where the chairman Daniel Levy said we've had a lot of missed opportunities. And I was just reading that and thinking, and we all don't like these close calls. We've come so close to grasping success, and then I'm like, well, we did kind of go, like, was it a year and a half, 2 years without signing a player when we were on the cusp of success. Didn't want to invest then. No, we couldn't find any players that were good enough. That was the excuse back then. We had a great squad. Do you remember that old one?
Yeah.
Who's going to upgrade on Ben Davies?
There's just no one out there. There's just no one out there.
Does he mean missed opportunities? Like when Jose Mourinho goes, I want to sign Kim Min-jae for 5 million, and he goes, no, it's too expensive and we can't sign him. Yeah. Does he mean Kavisha or like every other player that we were so close to signing and go on to be world beaters? Like those are the missed opportunities, right?
Let's send our chief scout to go to Milan to pick up Skriniar. Yeah, that'll be a good idea. Oh, you want how much? When's the next flight back? I'm sorry, I've completely changed the subject here. I just had to
When's
rant
the cheapest
about this.
flight back?
I'm really sorry.
Cheapest flight.
Get the Swansea chairman on the phone. I'll bid for Rodin. It would just to answer the question. I would actually play Perisic on Wednesday. Just to go again. Yeah, I would. Only because he knows the Italian league a lot. On these Italian teams a lot better. We need to win, so I don't want to. I think we need one offensive fullback. I think we have to play Emerson on the right because of Leao, and I think Leao's the biggest threat to us. He was literally the only one doing anything in the first leg. So I think we just stick Emerson on Leao. I'm just going to hope that Perisic can find some form on Wednesday. And we need someone who's offensive and who can do something from wing back, and unfortunately I think he's a better hope right now, even though he's not playing well. He's a better hope for me than putting Porro on the left, because Porro's going to have to cut inside every time, and I think it's going to break down a lot of moves. So I'm going to put my trust in him. I'm going to have Perisic there, and if it doesn't work out, we have to take him off after an hour, but I would start Perisic. I don't think we have a choice.
For the life of me, I can't watch Perisic again, man. He's so poor. So poor. Makes me want to cry, seriously.